Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first meeting of the new year, Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023, of the Rutland City Board of Aldermen. We'll start our meeting tonight with a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion. It has been seconded. Any comments, questions, or discussion? Seeing, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Is there anyone from the community that would like to speak from outside the rail this evening on items that are not on the agenda? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Mr. Mayor, we are in communications from the mayor. Come on up.
Well, thank you. The only thing I have is what you have before you. I have an executive session request. I had sent some documents to you earlier in the week, and if you could move that to the end of the meeting, that would be great.
Great, awesome, thank you very much. Is that already there on the agenda, Mr. Clerk, that particular? Okay, awesome, so we don't have to add that. All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
Moving on to additions and deletions to the agenda, we are adding under reports of standing committees, the finance report, which we have from Alderman Whitcomb. Is there anything else to add to the agenda or delete this evening? Yes, Mr. City Attorney.
Take a couple things, at least one off, and
Okay.
then give you the option on another. So the executive session related to negotiation of a contract can come off for this week at least.
Okay, item number 5.
And then the parking ordinance amendment proposal to accommodate Park Mobile, that's 95% complete. If you think that you would want to send it to Charter and Ordinance, you could leave this on and refer it to Charter and Ordinance, and it would be ready to do so before next meeting. Or if you think you want to just take it up at the next meeting, then it can be removed and can just provide it to you in between now and then, and you can decide. There's a fair amount of changes, but they're mostly just wording changes to add parking kiosk and parking app. So there's a lot of word changes, but there's not a lot of, I didn't really touch anything substantive.
Okay.
But it is a little bit to go through if you really want to kind of parse through everything.
Okay,
I'll move to refer to Charter and Ordinance.
Second.
okay. We have a motion to refer Attorney Bludermer's item number 2, parking and ordinance amendment proposal to accommodate Park Mobile to Charter and Ordinance. It has been seconded. Is there any comments, questions, or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, that goes to C&O. Anything else to add or delete from the agenda? All right, so just to review, we're adding the finance report under reports of standing committees and removing executive session line number 5 on the reports and letters. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is seconded. Any comments, questions, discussion? Seeing, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. Moving on to reports and letters from department heads and officials. Attorney Bloomer, this one is out in the open, so number 1, Charter Amendment Public Hearings Resolution, page 1 in your packet.
Thank you. So I tried to lay out in the whereas clauses of this resolution, kind of the history of where we are and where we're hoping to go. At the last meeting, you approved public hearings for the local option sales tax charter amendment proposal for tonight at 6:45 and the 17th at 6:45. In the interim, the clerk and I looked into notice that would be required for those public hearings, and it's actually a little bit ambiguous, but we thought that we would err on the side of caution and provide 10 days notice for those public hearings. And by the time we made that determination, it was inside of 10 days of tonight's meeting. So what this resolution is basically doing is resetting the public hearings for, well, the first public hearing would now be at 6:45 on January 17th, which was originally slated to be the second hearing. And then unfortunately, the second public hearing would be on and off Monday. I have it at 5:30 right now, just so that you don't have to wait until 7, but you could always change that. So that would be the second hearing, and then we're also asking the mayor to call a special meeting for directly after the public hearing to allow the board to make any changes that they may deem worthy after getting feedback from the public, if there is any. And that would still be before the printing deadline for the ballot. So that's the three things that you're doing down here are resetting the hearings, asking the city clerk to notice the hearings, and then petitioning the mayor to call that special meeting for directly after the second public hearing.
Alderman Talbot.
I'll make a motion to move the resolution provided by Attorney Bloomer as written.
Second.
We have a second. We have a motion and a second. Alderwoman Savage.
What was the date of the second meeting?
Second meeting is January 30th. It's an off Monday, but that could be changed too if it doesn't work. We
gonna go
do
back.
need a quorum for both the public hearings and obviously the special meeting. So if there's a date that is not good for several people, now's the time to change.
Okay, Alderman.
Forgot to
Talbot.
make a motion to suspend the rules.
There you go.
Second.
Motion to suspend the rules has been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay,
Now
so,
I'll make a motion to accept the resolution as
and circulate.
circulate for signatures.
Second.
Second. Okay, we have a motion to circulate has been seconded. Is there any further comments, questions, or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much, Attorney Bloomer. Okay, so we have two remaining executive sessions on the agenda, both related to item number 3 and item number 4, related to labor relations agreement, which we will move to the end of the meeting, if that's okay with everybody. All right. So moving on is we will move into reports of standing committees, and I will read the finance reports. I'm gonna put on my old man specs for a second. So Finance Committee was held on December 29th, 2022. The topic was ARPA funding for the TIF district. Committee members present were Davis, Coopely, Savage, Talbot, and Whitcomb. Others present were Mayor Allaire, President Dunges, Alderman Barbagallo, Alderman DePoy, Alderman Gillum, Treasurer Markowski, Lyle Jepson, Tyler Richardson, Ed Clark, and Devin Neary. The meeting opened at 5:30 p.m. and began with a discussion facilitated by Alderman Talbot regarding an explanation of TIF anticipated expenses. The document was divided into year 1 and year 2 anticipated expenses, which totaled $300,000. The committee discussed other municipalities that had created TIF districts and examples of success. Devin Neary highlighted that the Killington TIF district proposal was an example of a strong application with a clearly identified project and needs. Alderman DePoy inquired how the RRA would be involved in this project, specifically asking what the new role of the executive director would be, and if the RRA would be the entity responsible for hiring a potential employee solely dedicated to the management of the TIF process. Ed Clark expressed that the TIF district would be considered a top priority to whomever becomes the next RRA executive director. The committee discussed at length the possibility of hiring an employee solely dedicated to TIF, highlighting that municipalities who have taken this step have largely realized a positive return on their TIF district. Alderwoman Davis asked how much money remained in the ARPA funds, from which Treasurer Markowski stated approximately $530,000. The committee expressed their overall support for the creation of a TIF district and a willingness to offer financial support. The committee discussed at length funding of 1 year at this time versus the total for 2 years. Ultimately, the committee decided that they would feel it better funding year 1, in hearing from the TIF district consultant regarding the steps to come for creating a successful TIF district. Alderwoman Davis made a motion to fund $165,000 toward the TIF anticipated expenses, and the motion passed 5-0. Anyone like to?
So moved.
And Alderman
Second.
moves, has been seconded. Is there any comments, question, or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. The meeting adjourned at 6:18 PM. And just a quick note, Alderman Whitcomb has officially resigned as of yesterday. He's not with us this evening, but he will be back to say his goodbyes at some point in the near future. So, any other comments or questions on the report? Great, thank you, everybody. Moving on to reports of representatives. We have none. Reports of select committees. We have none. Petitions, letters, miscellaneous communication to come before the board. We have none. Board of Control Commissioners. We have none. Board of Cannabis Commissioners. We have none. Is there any unfinished business to come before the board this evening? Seeing and hearing none. Are there any miscellaneous motions, resolutions, or new business to come before the board this evening? Hearing and seeing none.
Where do you go?
I don't know. We're gonna move into executive session, and I need the city attorney to help us with those
Here he
motions.
comes.
Move down to get his language.
Okay.
We just adjourned, Matt. You're on.
Should have these memorized by now,
All
but,
right.
I need my script.
All right. Thank you for coming, Lyle.
All right. Happy New Year.
Lyle.
Happy New Year. All right.
All right.
Mr. City Attorney, we are ready for executive session related to labor relations agreement.
Okay, so motion to find premature general public knowledge regarding the negotiation of labor relations agreements would clearly place the city at a substantial disadvantage because the discussion will divulge the board's position on the agreement provisions to be negotiated.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to enter executive session. It has been seconded. Any discussion, questions, or comments? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And a motion to enter into executive session with the inclusion of the police chief, mayor, treasurer, clerk, and city attorney to discuss labor relations agreements as allowed under Title I, Section 313A1B.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion has been seconded to enter that executive session. Now, any comments, questions, or discussion? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.